with a tutorial for Native Instruments Massive. Today I want to talk about how to craft a sort of Joy Orbison-y, D-front dead boy sort of sound from like Huffmungo or Unofficial Girl. The sound we're going to be making today sounds like this. Okay, so now you've got an idea of the sort of sound we're going to be making. Let's get cracking. So I'm going to go File, New Sound in my instance of Massive. Okay, first things first, let's see, we've got Oscillator 1 turned on, Oscillator 2 and 3 and Modulation are off, which is absolutely fine. To start with Oscillator 1, we're looking at square to saw 1, and I'm going to roll the wet position over to the left, which gives me a square wave, which sounds like this. Okay, cool. The next thing we need to do is we need to look at our amp envelope. Normally, Massive sets envelope number 4 for its amp mod, you can see up here. What we need to do is we just need to work with the decay and the level and the release. Make sure level's turned all the way up and decay goes all the way across. Sometimes when you start a new instance of Massive, your level's down like this, which means it's going to have a decay in the note. So we want to crank that all the way up and we want to pull the release down. And this means basically that you're going to have one solid note that never decays like this. Which is great. Okay, the next thing we need to do, the main way we're going to get the sort of sound that we want is we're going to use an envelope to modulate the pitch of Oscillator 1. So we're going to use envelope 1 to do this. So to assign envelope 1 to the pitch, we're going to grab it by the crosshairs here and drag it into the box there. Okay, so let's roll the modulation up to 12, which is 12 semitones, which is an octave. Okay, with the envelope, we want to do the same thing as we did with envelope 4. We want to maximize the decay and the level of the decay and pull the release down. The thing that's going to be affecting the pitch is going to be the attack. So I'm going to play a note and then I'm going to move the attack dial up and down and you're going to see how it affects the sound. So you see, as we increase the attack, we get a longer pitch bend of an octave up 12 semitones. Up an octave is what we want. So you just modulate it here until you get it about the way you want. I think that sounds quite nice. It will sound even better when we play something like a fifth or a third chord on the keyboard like this. So you can hear straight away we've already got something very similar to that Future Garage Joy Orbison sort of sound. One thing worth noting at this point is if we change the square wave to a saw wave here, you get a nice warm grainy purplish sort of sound as well, but for now we're going to stick with square wave. Okay, the next thing that I want to do is add some effects. So first thing is we want some synced delay. 1/4 on both sides is cool, and the way I normally work with my delay is I pull down the dry and then same as what we were doing with the attack on envelope 1, I'm going to play the notes and then I'm going to bring in the wet a bit more and then fiddle with the other parameters until I'm happy with the sound. Okay, I think that sounds quite nice. And then on effects 2, I want to bring in a reverb, and same as before, pull it all the way down to dry, start playing, and then bring in your other parameters until you get a sound that you're happy with. Okay, I think that sounds quite nice. So this is the sound that we've got at the moment. Which I think is sounding pretty sweet. Okay, the next thing that we can do is if you listen, the attack on this note is quite harsh. So what I like to do sometimes is we're going to run this oscillator through a filter, and we're going to control the filter using the same envelope as we're using to control the pitch. So what we want to do is we just want to send this through to filter 1 and have that up and that up. I'm going to run it through series for now. Okay, so here we go. Have a DAW filter, and then we'll take our envelope 1 and we'll put it here. You want to roll it all the way up like that. I'm going to pull the resonance down, and then the same as before, you just need to modulate this dial here till you get a sound that you're happy with. So if we play it now, you can see that there's the attack on the note is gone because it's following this ramp up in the envelope. It's a much more softer attack to the note. And if I play and move it around, you'll get an idea of what we're up to. I think that's quite nice. So this is the sound we've got at the moment. And it's nice to add a bit more movement to the sound. So one way you could do it is you could run this through a sidechain with your kick, and that will give you a very Orbison sort of sound. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this again through filter 2 and then put an LFO on it. So what we want to do is that's on series, which is fine, and then we're going to bring in mix 2. I'm going to make this another DAW filter, and I'm going to use LFO 5. So we'll just do this really quick. Sync this to maybe 316, and then this is the sort of sound we've got at the moment. Let me just bring the resonance down. We don't want it that. Here we go. Cool, I think that sounds really nice. Another thing we can do is we can bring down the amp of this so it's not so harsh. It's essentially like the depth of the LFO. Another way we could do it is do this as well. So we've got something like this. But if you do it that way, and if you do the depth as well, you want to bring this round more to the right to open the filter a bit more so you keep the top end in. So there you go, that's about it. That's how to make a sort of Orbison Future Garage sound in Massive. So just to recap real quick, what we've done is we've used envelope 1 and we've assigned it to modulate the pitch on an oscillator and also the cutoff of an oscillator. And then we're running the whole thing through another LFO just to give it a tiny bit of wobble. And then it's going through a delay and a reverb, and that's all done within Massive. I hope that was useful to you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any suggestions, comments, questions, hit me up in the comments on YouTube or send me a message. And yeah, have fun and enjoy.